more than 131,000 tons of delicious seafood. That's how much lobster and crab US fishermen catch every year. But within this impressive catch lies a unique fact. There's one of these creatures you can technically eat more than once in its lifetime. We'll get to that fascinating mystery later. In this video, join me as we jump on board with US fishermen to discover how they managed to harvest billions of amazing crabs and lobsters for centuries and deliver them fresh to our plates. First, let's meet the stars of the show, the iconic lobsters. The US boasts two incredible varieties. The East Coast's Maine lobster, instantly recognizable by its cartoonishly large claws, and the Sunshine State's Florida spiny lobster, all about that irresistible tail meat. Both are world-renowned delicacies enjoyed fresh or frozen year-round. Our adventure begins at the crack of dawn, 3:30 AM to be precise. Seasoned fishermen begin a productive day with a several-hour trip to the lobster harvest site. Their target? Lobster traps strategically placed on the seabed 2 to 3 days prior. Each trap boasts a brightly coloured buoy, a unique identifier registered to each fisherman to avoid any underwater mix-ups. These lobster traps, essentially large underwater cages, are baited with a surprisingly familiar attractant, fish. Mackerel, herring, and even smelly fish heads are all common choices. Some lobstermen even get creative, mixing them with cat food. This irresistible scent lures lobsters inside, but the traps are designed with biodegradable panels and escape vents. These features allow any undersized lobsters to slip back into the ocean unharmed. But there's more to it than just setting clever traps. Sustainability is paramount in the lobster industry. For instance, Maine lobstermen are limited to a maximum of 800 traps at a time. This ensures a balance between catch and healthy stock levels. As the boat reaches the first buoy, the real work begins. Here comes the muscle. With the help of a hydraulic trap hauler, a fancy term for a winch system, the trap slowly emerges from the deep. Once on board, the lobstermen and their crew, often called sternmen, carefully sort through the trapped lobsters. They use a special measuring tool to check size. Only male Maine lobsters with a head carapace of 5 inches get harvested. And these lobsters take 6 to 7 years to mature. Those little guys who haven't reached maturity yet will get a snack and be released back into the water to grow bigger and stronger for future seasons. This applies to any precious females sporting a V-notch cut on their tail fin, a sign they've already carried eggs. These are released to continue their vital role in maintaining a healthy lobster population. It's all about sustainable fishing practices, ensuring there are plenty of lobsters in the sea for generations to come. This responsible approach is why US lobstermen have been able to continue their fishery tradition for more than 5 generations straight. Once the sorting is complete, the lobsters are placed in a fresh seawater tank with a band on their claws so they won't bite each other. A fresh bait bag is then placed in the trap, ready for the next round of curious crustaceans. Now, before we head back to shore with our lobster bounty, let's go check out the crabbers. In the US, 4 famous and unique crab species tantalize taste buds across the nation: the West Coast Dungeness crab, the East Coast blue crab, the Alaska snow crab, and the Florida stone crab, renowned for its colossal claws. Crab season varies depending on location and species, but generally peaks from October to January when these crustaceans are most active. Catching crabs is similar to lobster fishing, but they have some small differences. While lobsters go wild for fish heads and herring, chicken is a popular crab bait choice, but crabbers might also use fish scraps or even other seafood mix that mimic the natural food sources the crabs seek. Crab traps also differ slightly from lobster traps. Though both lobster and crab traps use a one-way entrance to keep the crustaceans inside, crabbers sometimes employ trot lines. Imagine long ropes studded with multiple traps at intervals, allowing them to cover a wider area and maximize their catch. Once the traps are hauled up, the sorting process begins, again with strict regulations in place. It's illegal to harvest female crabs carrying eggs, ensuring a healthy future crab population. Here's where things get interesting. The stone crabs boast colossal claws that can regenerate in just a year. That's why you can only harvest its claws when it reaches the legal size. If you take the whole crab, it's against the laws. Be prepared to shell out a pretty penny for them though, as stone crab is some of the most expensive seafood you can buy thanks to its firm and succulent meat. Once harvested, these beauties are placed in seawater tanks to keep them fresh during their journey back to shore. Now you've probably known that you have to peel the crab shell before eating most types of crab, but there is one type of crab that doesn't need to be peeled but still is absolutely delicious. They are called shedders or soft shell crabs. Crabbers can spot them through their duller shells and slightly sluggish demeanor. This rarity comes at a price, fetching double the cost of a regular crab. However, catching them requires a keen eye and knowledge of the molting cycle. Sometimes, special care is needed until they complete their molt before being sold. After a successful harvest respecting size and sustainability regulations, the fishermen race back to shore to ensure the freshness of their catch. Now they will go through a process called basic boat run, where the workers segregate the good or processed lobsters. Some of the most impressive ones are kept alive in tanks and fed for up to 3 months by the live lobster hauls, depending on the local market demand. Others are flash frozen whole to preserve their peak freshness before being shipped by truck or exported all around the world by air freight. Crabs and lobsters with minor imperfections will take on a different route to local processing facilities. Here they are cooked and skilled pickers meticulously extract the prized meat. Believe it or not, 6,000 pots of crab meat are sent out per day from this facility in Maryland. The extracted meat is carefully distributed to restaurants and stores across the nation and even worldwide, ready to be transformed into culinary masterpieces. They are what ends up in those delectable crab cakes or creamy bisques you adore. From the icy depths of the ocean to your plate, every bite tells a captivating story. While the bounty of the ocean is vast, life as a crabber or lobsterman isn't always smooth sailing. Hurricanes and tropical storms pose the worst threat, forcing fishermen to stay ashore and potentially miss entire seasons. Climate change is amplifying the existing challenges posed by weather, because it can affect the number of cold water crabs and lobsters in the US. But luckily, warm water ones like blue crabs and spiny lobsters may grow continuously throughout the year if the climate warms, according to fisheries scientists. Despite these challenges, crab and lobster fishermen persevere in their hard work. Since we're following the journey from the ocean to your plate, Here are two iconic lobster and crab dishes you simply can't miss, each representing one of the most famous crab and lobster fishing areas in the US. First up, the Maine lobster roll. A toasted hot dog bun overflowing with huge chunks of fresh Maine lobster meat, drizzled with melted butter and a squeeze of lemon. Take a bite and you will know why more than 600 lobster rolls are sold daily in this famous restaurant. Craving something warm and comforting? Then a San Francisco Dungeness crab chopino might be your answer. This hearty stew features succulent crab meat alongside other fresh seafood bathed in a rich tomato broth, a guaranteed way to warm you up on a chilly day. Well, what a journey! From the dedicated fishermen and their traditional methods to the focus on sustainability. What surprised you most about lobster and crab fishing? Share your aha moments in the comments below. Hello my friends. Diners and chefs around the world have always loved tuna for its melt-in-the-mouth texture and rich flavour. But how exactly did tuna get from the oceans to the restaurants half a world away? In today's video, we will explore how American and European fishermen catch billions of tuna each year. The fisherman's journey begins at the harbour. Skilled fishermen prepare their boats and equipment for the challenging hunting trip ahead. They need to ensure that their ships are in top condition to be able to endure long days at sea. You know, safety comes first. In addition, fishermen also prepare necessary tools and equipment such as nets, fishing hooks, measuring tools, and safety equipment. Because tuna's daily food intake accounts for about 2/3 of their body mass, they often carry several tons of bait in order to catch them. After preparations were complete, the fishermen set sail to sea. They went deep into the deep blue sea with the hope that when they returned, the boat would be full of tuna. Widely found but sparsely distributed, tuna are present throughout most of the world's oceans. The most commonly caught tuna species is skipjack tuna, followed by yellowfin. Atlantic bluefin tuna is a threatened species, but in recent years, fishing quotas have been agreed to and bluefin tuna stocks are recovering. Hook fishing is a method of catching tuna using a boat or fishing rod, just like this one. The hook can be equipped with different types of bait, such as live fish or plastic lures. They use fishing rods to fish on a large scale and professionally. Tuna are continuously thrown onto the boat quickly and accurately. A good hook can help increase catch rate. Besides fishing rods, tuna fishing boats also use trawl nets. Trawl nets help ships reach target numbers quickly. This means that the tuna will be preserved at the same time and have uniform quality. Different fishing methods have helped American and European fishermen harvest billions of tuna each year. Besides this, they also implement environmental protection and resource management measures to ensure the sustainability of the tuna fishing industry for the future. The life of a tuna fisherman is quite difficult, but also rather interesting. During long days at sea, they struggle with harsh weather and fatigue. But the hope of a big tuna catch or a bluefin tuna will keep the fishermen's spirits going. As you can see, they are enjoying the richness of the sea and sharing stories with each other. Meals on decks are always filled with laughter, which makes all their hard work worthwhile. These fishermen coordinate smoothly using hooks to pull the tuna up. You can see that they will hook it to the back or belly so as not to affect the quality and aesthetics of the tuna meat. This operation requires experience and quick reflexes. If careless, the tuna can carry the hook and plunge into the sea like this. Any type of injury can reduce the price of tuna by thousands of dollars. During the fishing process, when pulled up, the tuna will protest and writhe around, causing a chemical reaction in their muscles. This movement can speed up the rate of decomposition, causing the tuna to become sour and watery and less delicious. As soon as he removed the hook, he immediately stuffed the tuna into the bucket. The tuna is stored on ice to maintain appropriate temperature. Small fishing boats like this will return the same day to ensure the freshness of their catch. At the port, the tuna will be analysed, cleaned and packaged in a temperature-controlled environment to maintain freshness. This work happens quickly and requires fishermen to be extremely careful. To reach distant places, tuna must undergo appropriate preservation and export processes. They are a popular fish species globally. Tuna prices in some countries may vary based on demand, supply, transportation costs, market factors, and consumer preferences. Albacore tuna is mainly used to produce canned tuna, which has a longer shelf life than fresh-cut tuna. They typically cost between $18 and $22 per pound. Skipjack tuna is the smallest species. Skipjack tuna differs from other tuna species in that they prefer to live at the surface of the ocean water, which makes them much more accessible to fishermen. Skipjack tuna price ranges from $23 to $30 per pound. Yellowfin tuna have a torpedo-shaped body. They are dark green on the back and upper surface, turning yellow and silver on their belly. Yellowfin tuna prices range from $30 to $35 per pound. Big-eye tuna are caught in the pristine waters off the coast of New England. Big-eye tuna are a great alternative to those looking for something better than low-quality albacore or expensive bluefin. The price of big-eye tuna ranges from $40 to $200 per pound. Bluefin tuna are a large predatory fish. They are prized for their meat and are used for sushi and sashimi. Bluefin tuna holds the most expensive position in the price list of tuna types, ranging from $20 to $5,000 per pound. This staggering cost is due to their high demand and remarkable size. They can grow up to 9 feet long and weigh over 1,100 pounds. Bluefin tuna love sunshine, heat, and blue skies. They love to come to the surface to sunbathe. This can lead to exploitation depending on weather factors. Whenever the sun is hot, this is the optimal fishing conditions. Fishermen will try to exploit this. When temperatures are cool or there is lots of rain, all fishermen on the boat will be on standby. When the captain found signs of tuna, the fishermen began to cast their fishing lines. With large boats, they will launch a giant net in an arc that can cover an area of up to 20 hectares at sea and catch their assigned quota. This is one of the most tightly managed fisheries in the world. The average weight and length of each catch will be recorded. Each fishing boat for fishing bluefin tuna must comply with its quota and not catch tuna under 22 pounds. In addition, tuna that does not meet standards are tagged with information including location, catch date, and size on its second dorsal fin. Once tagging is complete, they are released back into the sea. Fishermen on this boat have shared that they want to catch quality tuna and even exceed the fishing limit. Therefore, they prioritize keeping tuna weighing about 37 pounds or more. Even though it is hooked on, with its large tail and weight in the water, the tuna can break the fishing rod at any moment. He needs to get it onto the boat as soon as possible if he doesn't want to spend hours fighting it. The fishing line is stretched and the fishing rod is yanked hard. This is a battle of fishermen and giants. Their boat is not capable of catching this huge tuna, so remove the hook from the tuna's mouth and let it swim away. Floating on the sea, overcoming the waves offshore, from meticulous preparation to their interesting fishing processes and exquisite preservation techniques, fishermen in the US and Europe use their skills and knowledge to harvest tuna and meet the market supply each year. In the vast ocean, thrilling adventures take place every day. Of course, the story doesn't stop at going to sea and fishing. Fishermen do more than that. They create a connection between tuna and cuisine and close the distance from the distant ocean to our dinner tables.